Welcome to Simulated Podcast. Too good to be true.
Welcome to Simulated Podcast, episode number 1. We have a very special guest, Kunal Chopra, but you might know him as better as Horseplay X. And just got to put this out there. I saw your Spotify today. You're almost at 500,000 views, 500,000 views on the I Don't Give a Fuck now?
Getting there.
Dude, how's that feel, dude? Almost hitting 500,000.
Honestly, dude, it's kind of crazy because, like, I released that song, like, when quarantine broke out.
Mm-hmm.
Season one
quarantine.
Of quarantine. COVID season 1 is when I released the song, right? That summer.
The alpha variant.
And, like, dude, that time I was, like, monitoring that song heavy, right? Because it was a new baby I just put out and stuff. And so, like, it was exciting. But then now I'm like, dude, every year just kept reaching new marks. I'm like, yo, 500K? This is kind of sick. Like, it's sick to me because now it's like, I know it's resonating with so many people and people are fucking with the song. And that's just, oh my God.
So how does one become a rapper? It's just like straight up like, did you wake up one day and be like, I want to start being, pursuing music. That's my passion. How was that?
Oh man. Honestly, I'll be honest, like I tell people this, like I was never really ever trying to get into music. So I was taking this acting class in Hollywood with my teacher, Anthony Gilardi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in that class, we had acting day.
Okay.
Sorry, character day.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we had to do in that, we had to basically write our own character and bring that character in. And during that time, I was watching a lot of Empire. And so I love that, dude.
Sean loves
Produced by
Empire
Timbaland.
too, actually.
Dude,
Behind the
Empire
scenes,
was
Sean
amazing.
loves it.
And so, like, I was hella inspired by, like, Hakeem, Jamal, those characters in that show. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to come up with, like, a Indian rapper. So I was at Starbucks, literally just, like, listening to, like, a random Tyga beat I found on YouTube, or a Tyga type beat on YouTube. And I just started writing, like, a verse. And I brought that into class, and I performed it, like, just, no shirt on, just, like, a camo jacket. And I just did the whole thing. And I'm like, yo, low-key, I could do this. I fucked with it.
Were you that good looking then, or is this recent glow up? I'm kidding, but so that might have been very interesting to do, just like be a different characters, like almost method acting, I guess. I don't like. Is that where? How was that? I mean, you had to be in a totally different world.
Mentally. That was kind of interesting because, like, one, you had to create that character too, so it kind of came from your influences in general.
Okay.
Versus, like, you read a role and you have to bridge the gap to that role, and you have to connect to that role. So this was just like, I guess, stuff in your subconscious that you're rocking with, right? And then so I did that, and low-key, I just love that. I just love the energy of that performance.
Yeah.
And whatever that element was. And literally, like, every time after that, I'd listen to a song at the gym, I'm working out. Like, I'd start listening. I was hella into Gambino again, going back over his Camp album. Then, dude, I'd, like, listen to his album, but I just add my own words to it. So I just, like, write my own verses, and I was like, yo, this is low-key kind of fire. And I was like, I can't stop doing it. So honestly, I just went from there. And
so it was a very progressive way, right? Like, it was part of a class, and you're like, okay, let me do this, be a bit more creative. But
100% by accident.
By accident.
All by accident.
That's great. Because you did want to become an actor, right? I think that was like your thing.
That was actually
your
a goal
art
at the time.
Yeah.
And then the music thing was like the side detour that I was like, yo, I love this. And honestly, it helped me find my voice way more than if I were to just pursue acting and only acting.
Okay.
I feel like I was hitting a brick wall. Like, the music thing was a side tangent to, like, recalibrate my mind and find my voice. And that actually helped me back in the acting world, which is weird. It was like, take a step back. You're overdoing it. Chill the fuck out. Look, there's a blessing and a gem over there. Go pick that up and go back on your main mission. And I was like, all right, this is it.
It's like a video game side quest or something.
Side quest, dude.
I feel you.
This side quest.
Can you talk about the recent acting gig, or?
Yeah. I mean, like, this is tight. Like, I moved to Miami to work on music. Then I came back, wanted to get back in the acting scene. And, like, one of my homies, he works for a casting office, Ryan. And, like, he sent me this random audition. And he's like, dude, just send this in. We need it back today. I was like, all right, cool, cute. Sent it in. And he's like, yo, dude, I think you actually might book this. Book the gig. It was exciting because it was like a Netflix show, co-star role. I hadn't done anything to that level besides, I think, one commercial, but I didn't even see my face in that commercial, to be honest. Got paid amazing money for that, but did not see my face at all. So this one's exciting. I'm, like, stoked. Like, looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna air, like, in October.
That's exciting. You must be excited almost. Even
I'm stoked for that.
Yeah. It was a Netflix one, right?
Yeah, it's like a Netflix show, but, like, again, oh my God, I'm stoked. Like, that whole experience was tight because, like, like they treat you so well, and like Netflix treats you so well. Like literally, I had like one line, and I literally got my own dressing room and everything for that. I was like, yo,
Oh, that's
what?
super sweet.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, I could do this. I could do this.
So, okay, awesome. So for the people listening or watching, I've known Kunal or Horseplay X for the last 15, 20 odd years or whatever.
You know, Kanal for like 20 years, Horseplay X for like 5 years.
Yeah. And there was another couple names in between.
7 other names in between, bro.
But I know a little bit about what you did, right? But I just want to make sure you get their story out there. But you moved to Miami, right? So that was, I got to make sure you get the audio there. I'll fix it later. Don't worry. I just want to understand, right? So just up and leaving LA, which is a great music scene. You went to Miami, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell the audience why and how's that experience and how did it impact your current career?
To be honest, like it's funny. I went to Miami for music, but I feel like it did something so much more for me mentally and spiritually and emotionally.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those things where, again, dude, like you think you're doing one thing, but it's actually doing something else for you. And I think like I need to be tricked that way low key in my life. Like, they gotta like, basically I went there for music and stuff. That didn't fully pan out as much. I did go network. I went to some events and stuff. It was amazing there. But what I got out of it was like a mental, spiritual check for myself.
Okay.
And like being at home like my whole life too and stuff, even if I moved out, it was like not too far from home. So this was one of those experiences where I was solo mode, right? And I just went lone wolf mode on that. Something I was super scared of in my life, but at the same time, I think that's what I needed. And that did wonders for me, confidence wise, just mental check, just, you know, spiritually, I was just on my shit out there. Like, I don't know, like I'm so thankful for that experience because I found my passion again. I like reignited my passion for life and I brought that back.
And then simple question, I know why, but why did you go out to Miami and just straight up leave LA?
It was a coke. Just kidding. No. Real talk. It was literally like, okay, this is like deep in pandemic, right?
I think it's post Delta. Pre Delta.
When did it evolve? Yeah, pre Delta.
Yeah,
pre Delta. And this is barely when things started opening back up for the first time, and like, everything sucked during that time, dude. Like, honestly, it was nice. Like, COVID was a blessing and a curse because, again, I was on my meditation game during that time. I was working out a lot. I was doing burpees at home. It was great, making TikToks, whatever we were doing during that time, right?
Follow him on TikTok as well and Instagram and all the YouTubes.
All of the things.
And then, so you were on that game.
And basically, like, I took that energy to Miami, and when we were shut down, we weren't going out. And so this was a complete opposite effect. We went from like not hanging out with anyone or barely hanging out with anyone or like the 5 people you know and shit, or like your 5 close top 5 friends, and then going to a world where you're in Florida and everything's open and no one cares about anything anymore. And so like it was like, yo, I just popped out of a bubble right now.
Okay.
And so like it was a complete opposite effect, but that was amazing for me because that got me back on my game faster, to be honest.
Like that's where the mental came in, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, everyone's doing something here.
Everyone's back in the world. They're just getting things done.
And then COVID was weird. You know, I think it's a blessing in disguise that you left, you know, living in your home, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, just again, being a brown man, you know, brown boy, growing up with the parents, you know, in the younger high school days and trying to be something else, something different. How was the impact of just straight up leaving versus being at home?
Dude,
because just being completely 6-hour flight away.
I'll be honest. In like the first few months, man, there was a lot of kicking and screaming and stuff. Like it was like a shock a little bit too. Like I hella FOMO'd. I missed a lot of people like out here and stuff, and like because I didn't come back for like maybe like the first 6 months, and so like, but at the same time it was tight, bro. You're in Florida, you're in Miami, like legit. You walk outside and you're like, yeah, this is tight.
So you're saying it made an impact for your creative, at least, right? The mental, the spiritual,
100%.
Just because financial hope.
For me, I need my independence. I need to be in my own flow, and whatever I have to do to get there, I just have to do. That's
and your family's sweet, man. They're very supportive.
Dude, they're
like
tight.
your brother, your parents,
They're
you know,
tight.
and the extended family as well.
Honestly, everyone supported hella hard. I love it, and like honestly, like my brother came out like within the first 2 months too. It was nice. I came back home a few times too, which is nice. But like at the same time, they were always like on the phone, checking in with me, you know, the good stuff. But they also gave me that space because they knew I needed that at the time too. So I love and respect everything that they did during that time.
how difficult was that first conversation when you were, in college? You're like, hey, mom and dad, I don't want to do. I think you were doing nursing for a quick
you're
minute.
talking about that.
We're going
my
back.
God. You backtracked real quick. Okay.
Chill. We got to put some.
That is an important conversation. Oh my God.
You were doing nursing school initially, right? Or at some point, then you threw business in there to help with the family stuff. But how difficult was saying, hey, I'm trying to do my own thing?
Dude, to be honest, like, honestly, luckily,
that initial conversation, really.
My family was the type, like, dude, my mom was always like, yo, do what you actually want to do. The issue was I didn't actually fully know. But she was always like, yo, you want to pursue acting. You want to do this, do that. They always gave me the freedom to do it. It really came down to me understanding that I want to do it. And so, like, dude, they didn't care. Like, they were like, yo, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to do medicine, don't do medicine. And thank God I backed out that when I did. Because if I went to med school and dipped halfway through out of, oh my God.
You would have been Jay Sean. Jay Sean did the same thing.
Did he really?
Yeah, he dropped out of med school. Like, he was in med school in the UK.
Dude,
was doing his singing in parallel. And the singing took off. I forget what song it was, but I'm sure.
The
Jay
Young
Sean
Money
down.
Cash Money the fees probably paid his med school fees, bro. He chilling.
I think it's free in the UK, but because,
God damn.
Yeah, or maybe there's something. But.
Birdman, like, yo, I don't have to pay him anything right now.
So Jay Sean is, I think, still making music and stuff. But if Jay Sean did that, he dropped out of med school. So again, people do drop out of school and pursue their creatives.
Honestly, blessing and a half.
And then Drake as well. Not Drake as well, but he did 2 creatives at the same time. I think we talked about this last time. He was also an actor.
Degrassi, yeah.
Right, and then the singing career kicked off. So everyone starts from like weird points of their lives. So like, there's no way this guy's gonna do this. So
it's crazy because like one of my major inspo is again Lil Wayne, Gambino, right? Lil Wayne just for his musical genius, his lyrics. Gambino for the reason that he started as a writer on 30 Rock or something. And then he was on Community.
Great show.
Amazing.
Watch Community.
Troy and Abed.
Like, if you got to binge something with Troy and Abed, yeah.
Troy and Abed, bro.
Or was that the Spanish rap?
And during that time, Camp came out. And that was his... And I think that's when he took time off for his music again. So he dipped out of the show. But, like, dude, that whole era of his, like, career was just straight fire. Like, his acting game was fire. His music was fire. So, for me, like... I never want to set those limitations in my head. Like, yo, you're only going to be an actor. You're only going to be a musician. Like, yo, if I want to wake up one day and I'm like, yo, I want to write a book, I'm going to write a book. If I wake up one day as like, I want to be in a musical, I'm going to be in a musical. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I want to do it, if I have the desire, like, I just got to get done. Because otherwise, I'm going to hate life. That's just how it is.
That's true. You got to appreciate life. And, life is really short. The older I get, I realize how short it is. I'm just like, I'm already, 30 years old, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I'm like, I got 30 more to enjoy, then it's, I'm old, right? So you got to pursue your passion.
We stay timeless age-wise. Like Pharrell Williams does not age, and we will not age, okay? We just don't age. This is it. This is what we get.
I put makeup on today, so
nope. This is it. We ain't gonna age. So you look beautiful, my guy. You 22?
I do microneedling too.
You're looking 22 right now, my guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Discount 10 years. But I guess so you had a lot of like creatives that kind of influenced you, right? But I guess who gave you the biggest support outside of the family dynamic?
Man, I'd say music-wise, I'd say my producer Charlie. Like, dude, this guy, like, we have such great synergy in the sense where, like, when I walked in the studio, like, dude, I had no ego, luckily. And luckily to my acting teacher, he knocked that out of me too. And so I went in the studio, like, yo, I literally, my first time I recorded a song with him, bro, I was so bad. Like, I was trying to sing notes I didn't know how to sing. Yeah, and he's like, and he noticed that. He's like, yo, Kanal, like, yo, you're doing too much. Look, try this. And look, low-key, he like, the thing I love about him is like, he's such a good producer in the way that producers navigate and guide the artist. And that's what makes him a good producer. Like, they're the engineer behind the whole thing, right? Like, the artist has to show up and put in the work. And, they got to also have a vision too, but they got to show up and make sure they can be a good student at the same time. But the producer, like, they got to set you straight at the same time too. And he's done that multiple times. And I'm so grateful with him because, like, legit, I didn't know how to sing. I was singing on the fly in the studio.
That's hard.
I'd sing songs. I would practice at home too, but I literally record a track with him. He'd auto-tune it. I'd listen to it, and then I'd learn how to sing the song.
Okay.
Like, this is how you know, like, you don't have to know exactly how to do everything. You just have to show up for yourself.
So you just put the work in.
I just jumped with and built a parachute on the way. Like, that's what it is.
There's a saying in the corporate industry. We fly the plane as we're building it.
Exactly. And that's hard to trust yourself to do that.
It's difficult. But
Exactly.
It's stressful. But the outcome is going to be worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah. And like, and the thing is, like, literally learn how to sing on the fly. But at the same time, like, I got it down now.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken like 5 vocal lessons. And I practiced mostly at home on a karaoke mic, whatever it was. But like, I had to build my own like technique of how I learn and how I figure things out. Because it was not the norm.
You put the work in.
Yeah, but it was not the norm. So like, the whole process is so confusing at the same time. But you're like, I'm just gonna get it done. That was my mental at that time.
So my first question I asked you was, how do you become a rapper, a musician, or an artist? And you gave me the answer. It's just put the work in, right?
Just put the work in.
But now it gets complex. Now, what do you do the day to day? So you're saying you had to get rid of your ego through singing lessons, through acting lessons.
Acting, yeah.
But that took a while.
It took a second, yeah.
But then you broke that. But now what do you do? What is that result now, right? So now do you wake up in the morning, do some affirmations? Do you set yourself goals for the week, the month, the day? Or are you like me, where very whimsical?
It's funny because like, I feel like I was just starting to construct my day-to-day differently every time. I just started implementing certain things like to keep enhancing my vocals. Like, dude, I just keep practicing on the mic, on a karaoke speaker, whatever it was. To get my mental straight, I started adding in affirmations. Like anytime I like hit a wall, I'd have to reset, and I use affirmations to reset. Something I learned in my acting class too. It was like they would teach you like if you have a negative thought, just flip it, and even if you don't trust it or believe in it, just flip it and start saying that.
That's really hard to do, but you did it.
But the thing is, like, and that's what anything though. Like, imagine, like, if we say we're awful at something, we're gonna be awful at something, right?
Yeah.
But if we just literally lie to yourself and say, "Oh, dude, I'm amazing at this. I'm an amazing singer. I'm an amazing vocalist. I'm an amazing rapper," literally, you're just gonna manifest that. But it's a lie and a half at first, and you just got to get through that little phase. But
in simplest terms, it's thinking about the glass being half full or half empty, right? It's like it's the same thing. Which
that's
one
it.
is true?
That's the principle, though.
That's which one's true to you.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like a more, I think like today example will come to me in the middle of it, but you really have to lie to yourself, right?
Yeah. Like it's that imposter syndrome situation, right? But you're like, you just got to push through that because that's how everyone else did it.
Yeah.
That's literally how everyone else did it.
And imposter syndrome, just for the audience and people who are listening, is you can Google it, but I'm just going to say what it is right now from my Googling skills. So imposter syndrome, it happens a lot with millennials. It happens with like our generation quite a bit. But what it is in the simplest sense is that if I'm like an A plus like performer at work or whatever I'm doing, but in my head, I tell myself I'm a B plus because I'm always trying to improve. I always consider myself 8 out of 10 in anything I do, maybe 8.5, 9. But the reason I do that because I'm like, no, I'm not the best I can be. I'm always trying to improve. Yeah. Not in the simplest sense. That's what imposter syndrome is for everyone that's listening and watching. But
especially if you're starting a new career that you never thought you'd start.
Yeah.
If you're taking on a new role that you never thought you'd start, dude. Even like someone being a new mom.
Yeah.
You face that same issue. Like you're now a mom to some other human being.
Right.
Like I feel like that would also have the same type, but at the same time, like you're biologically having that happen. So I think that the bridge between is a little different. This is like doing something that's still doing something you've never done. Because before you're mom, you've never been a mom. You've never given birth. So it's actually the same thing.
At best. But,
but that's literally the same thing, actually. So
but it circles back. It's like you're flying a plane when it's not even built yet. The baby's still
like,
growing.
You're in there. You're like, am I a pilot, bro? Like,
shout out to the parentals, by the way. Like, making successful, children in their own right. For those who do have children, it is tough, man. My mom did a lot of effort, so I can see where people grow the most, and I can see always, what does they call it in Aladdin? The diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Bro, when you start adulting, you realize like how much work your parents did.
A lot.
And you're like, my bad. definitely my bad. But you don't know it till you go through it.
My mom had me when I was my age. Can you imagine that? Imagine I should have a kid right now.
Oh my God, I'm good.
Like, I don't think I could provide for a kid, but I've tutored and all that other stuff. But,
This is why I got a cat. Not doing a kid yet.
Yeah, tell me about your cat. You got a cat. What is his name? Is the name TBD yet?
No. So his name is Omni.
Omni. Where'd you get
OMNI.
That means ever, right?
It means all. It's just all.
Yeah.
It's like omni
Present, omniscience. Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It was just like it's a vibe that I've had in my head space right now. It's just like, right now I'm in that phase where I just want it all.
And then the cat was the next.
I went from short selling myself throughout my whole life and never really understanding my self-esteem. And now that I understood it and worked through it, like, sky's the limit. So for me, it's just like, I want it all.
That's beautiful, man.
Anything and everything. And again, this is why I respect my producer, man. Dude, props to Charlie. Like, he taught me to never settle anymore. And I feel like I did that so much in my life. And now I realize I had to raise the bar.
Dude, I want to hang out with Charlie. I think I met him once.
He's cool.
But he was a French dude, right?
Yeah.
Is that him? Dude, cool.
He came to the Holy Fest.
Yes. And this producer is so awesome of his. He came to his Holy Music Festival, which is amazing. I think you did it 2 years. He came both years or just the one?
Yeah, he came the first year.
Okay, so how'd you meet Charlie? Because there's producers everywhere, I'm sure. Or difficult to find. How does one find a producer?
Dude, this is that type of thing. Like, when like this is that thing. Like, when the student is ready to learn, that the professor appears or the teacher appears or something. The mentor appears. I think that's what happened. I wasn't even like, I was kind of trying to manifest. I was trying to get to the next level and stuff. See, this is the thing. You don't realize you're manifesting stuff, but you're doing it all the time.
All the time.
And it's just when you want it so much more, it shows up in a better way. You know what I mean? Like, when you actually want it, it shows up. Or when you're ready for it, it shows up. And so, like, I literally, like, I was trying to find a producer. I was trying to do rock music at the same time. I was trying to dip from hip hop to rock. I was trying to, like, create my own space for that, right? And so I was just on IG. Like, I found, this is a random story. Someone was connecting me to someone else. I followed that guy. One of the artists that he was managing, I rocked with their sound. I was like, yo, their sound's dope. I went on their page and I found a producer. Random streamline of situations, but it was just like, you're not even doing it at this point. You're just like kind of being guided by certain things. And so, like, I literally found him because I was like, oh, I like their sound, but I found those guys because someone put me in touch with the manager of that artist, and I met that guy through someone at, like, my dad's salon.
Did you hear the thing that you are 6 degrees of separation from any one person in the world?
That's literally it. That's actually it. Oh, like, my God. If you want to meet,
I don't know, Obama, you can find these people who are, like, the greatest of the industry. I know there's some politicians in there, but Shah Rukh Khan, maybe. If you want to do an acting gig with Shah Rukh Khan, I technically am friends with him, but I can get around to Shah Rukh Khan. Everyone knows everyone. Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get done.
And that's the whole point of my simulated dot network. It's the OG.
I like that.
I'll find you someone if you need someone. Actually.
Honestly, that is one of your special skills. I'll be honest. Like, everyone has their thing. Like, you're good at being in reach of a lot. Like, being in touch with different worlds, bro.
That's my
like
goal.
People of different worlds.
That's my goal in life.
And that's why your network, it's so simulated, my guy.
Yeah. That's why I had simulated podcast. But again, I want to be the plug for the social plug, not like
the
other plug.
Yeah, not the other
plug. So I guess, like, a lot of people, I don't think I was a believer of affirmation, like maybe like 2-3 years ago, but now I think I more am. And I just want to kind of make it a bit more simplified, right? Affirmation, again, more for the audience, and I want to see what your daily affirmations are as well. But if I say, if I want to go for a walk today, I will go for a walk. But that thought comes in your head, right? But how do you change that thought, right? You got to keep telling yourself, right? It's a lie. You might not do it the first day, not do the second day, but eventually you'll go for a walk. Now you change walk with, I'm going to do something. I'm going to clean. I'm going to, fix a car, learn how to do a new trade. I'm going to become an artist. I'm going to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So those affirmations start small, but you make them bigger and bigger and bigger. They get better and better and better. And you become happier and happier.
Yeah.
So what's your affirmation?
Man, I feel like they change. See, this is
Which is good. They should
you know,
change.
once you learn the muscle of affirmations or just changing your thoughts, like, I had such a negative headspace and such low self-esteem in my life in the past where like, man, you didn't like at that point, you don't even believe you could do something. You don't even think you deserve something. So the first step is also like, telling yourself, I deserve the world. I can get anything done. And then like, so my affirmations changed literally based on what I need at the time. Or if I see a roadblock, that's my affirmation.
Okay. Do you need a
that.
cheers? Is that your half second affirmation?
Shit,
Cheers.
I mean, we'll take it, bro. We'll take it.
Okay, that's that for.
Yeah,
See, I made it happen, right?
But yeah,
No,
like
but really. Okay, so they
like,
should be evolving, right?
Like the thing is like,
You want to take over the world in your own sense, in your own regard, but you got to also think about the day-to-day ones. So what's your day-to-day as of this week or this month or recently?
dude, honestly, it's like a mix of gratitude and affirmation right now, man. Like, this is the thing why Miami was so important to me. I set the affirmation game into full gear during that time. Like, I'd wake up and I'd literally go up to the window, like I had my Ganeshi like at the window and stuff, and I'd just say like, thank you, God, I'm awake, I'm alive, I have amazing people around me. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for all my blessings. Thank you for all these beautiful experiences coming my way. Thank you for all these opportunities. I'm so excited to be an amazing actor, an amazing rock star. I'm creating amazing music that's influencing so many people. And, all my friends support me. I support them. I have beautiful family, friends around me. And literally I had this flow that I did and it kept expanding. It started off super basic. It started off really simplified. But then as I kept waking up and doing it every day, I kept adding to it and everything that was important to me. And I'm like, thank you for literally everything that was going on in my life. Even like you start from your breath, that's why I say, thank God I'm alive. I started with that because that's just like, bare essentials, my guy. I'm alive and we out here, right?
Yeah.
Everything else builds upon that. And so like that literally changed my whole vibration. And that's why I love Miami so much. Because dude, people would think it's like, dude, were you out there partying? Yeah, like I did some fun stuff, but also I balanced it the fuck out.
It's all just balance and
I
moderation.
had to, dude. Because we did the party thing heavily. Like
college was there
before, and like it was fun and it was cute and we loved it. But at the same time, like now it's game time. Now it's like, how do we grow from here? How do we move forward from here? So like for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna still have a little fun. I'm gonna dabble in the fun out here. But at the same time, I'm here to like progress in my life. So I just changed my mental out there, dude. That's it.
That's insane. I had the biggest piece of advice I ever got, and now in retrospect, it makes sense. But I had a high school teacher at Granada Hills High School, Mr. Adair, who's my history teacher for AP Euro. He told me the most successful people are the people who work harder than their 20s. And again, as like a 16-year-old, like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what this guy's saying. He's my history teacher. Like, what does he know, right? But this guy, like, in hindsight, still is in my brain, dude. Like,
it stays, it lingers.
He even like wrote a whole chart from the people from 0 to like 30. Whoever's winning there will not have to work hard beyond that, right? And it kind of works in the sense where I made it a bit more rudimentary, where I was like, okay, same thing with college, right? You work hard in college for 4 years, you'll get a decent job, right? But if you want to do something else, like if you want to make your own business, if you want to sell t-shirts, if you want to do whatever, drop shipping, you want to become an artist, just think about it the same way. You're going to college for yourself, and this is what you're putting your efforts and mind into. But you did a little bit of everything. Do you have any like soft skills that kind of like from other places that you put into your music career now, or even acting skill? Like, anything from life experiences? Dude, which you like, said a lot.
Random. I'll be honest. Like the side tangent, random stuff. Like, dude, like graphic design. That came into play for everything.
Yeah, your logos are sick.
Especially for entertainment, for anything I did artistically, for music and stuff. Like I always had a hand in either editing something, or if I couldn't do it, I'd have someone else do it. I'd outsource it out. But because I've used those tools in my past.
Fiverr is your friend, by the way. Dude. Trust me, 2 R's.
Yeah, honestly, I have for a certain moment, but then until it wasn't working at the same time. Too. Logos, eventually I was like, my vision was so strong for my logos where I use certain things, but then I was like, I don't like how they did it, so I either adjust it, but that's the thing, like, because I have a mental behind it, I can at least guide the vision.
Right.
So even if I can't physically get it done myself, I know exactly what I want, and I'll figure out how to get it done. So like, that tool helped me a lot in everything too, like design wise for like marketing and all that stuff too. Like it's just you don't think it's gonna come in
switch your
clutch.
business halfway through, right? UCR.
Yeah. But like, dude, the graphic design was stuff I just do on the side for like my family's business and stuff. I do all their like logos and their business cards and like everything.
I
but
didn't know that.
it was never anything I used as a business. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I never went ahead and like, yo, dude, I'm making flyers. I could hook you up or whatever. I never did that. It was just something that is a skill for me that's lingering underneath, but I just use it for whatever I need it for now.
So the soft skills being like you learned graphic design, you were able to use it both in your parents' business,
Yeah.
but also for yourself.
Also, yeah,
Because
exactly.
you give them some sort of minimum image, be like, hey, this
Yeah.
is what I'm looking for, make it so much better. So one thing, I'm a huge mental health advocate, at least as of recent. Did you have to face, I think you kind of half mentioned it, that you got in your own head when you were in Miami, but anywhere throughout your life that you had a great mental health episode that you overcame, and how'd you overcome it? Because I know there's a lot,
I mean, I had a
you're
lot.
comfortable with sharing.
Yo, especially in high school, like, dude, I went through depression so much in high school. I made like a short film like, for like suicide prevention during that time too, which honestly, dude, like my dad always loves that video. It's like a short film, but like I hate watching it because it brings back all those emotions, and I literally like seeing yourself go through it. It's weird, man. And I put myself on camera during that time. Like I haven't even shared it too much because it trips me out. To be honest, I don't like watching it.
I can't imagine.
But that's why I know it's powerful, because when I actually did upload that or post it on IG back in the day, I got so many messages from so many people. Like, yo, like I sent this to my son. Like he's going through something. Like even like acting class buddies or random people that would reach out to me from like India and stuff. Like, hey, dude, I saw your video. I was like, how'd you see this video? What? Like this is just like a low key project
like
I made.
Small viral.
Yeah, and like
snippet.
I was getting random responses, and also like my parents were sending it out to random people, and they'd be like, "Yo, like you know, I sent it to my son or daughter. Like they're going through something." I was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know that." I literally made a short film that was, I didn't realize how much it. You know, when you're going through something, you don't understand the caliber of it because you're short selling it probably to yourself. I didn't realize it, but then like that hit me hard, and I understood later what I was actually going through looking back at it too.
Right.
And so I've gone through that stuff, and dude, honestly, I thank music too. Honestly, music saved me in a lot of ways.
Like I guess in the first step, second step, I guess for anyone who's dealing with any sort of mental health issues, be it depression or anything, or just even self-doubt, what advice would you give them just to do that first step?
Just know that everything is so temporary and so fluid that what's going on right now is not going to go on forever. Yeah. It's just not it. And if you make it, that's when it ends. But you don't have to make it that. If it's temporary, it'll go away. If it's temporary, it'll go away. And it is temporary. So that's just one of those things where listen to your body, listen to yourself. It's trying to teach you something or tell you something. And it might feel really, dude, honestly, during that time, man, a lot of stuff is unclear.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fogginess. You don't know what's going on. It's just happening. And you really just got to trust. It's like that trust that you got to get through it. And look, man, talk to people, reach out. I love that mental health is out in the open now, because I feel like a lot earlier it wasn't. It was really hard to talk to people. Dude, I could not have a conversation with anyone about it.
No, but today it's
like guy homies too. We didn't touch that with a 5 foot rod, bro. We never touched it, bro.
It was just all those.
Yeah.
But it's just like, no, I'm dealing with shit.
And so like back then it was weird because like you really couldn't talk to people. I like even Indian parents, like we really couldn't talk to them back then because they didn't think therapy was a thing.
No. I think most Indian households are kind of against mental health and saying mental health is not a real issue or not a real disease or whatever the terminology.
And
might be.
I've talked to them back then in high school, and it was kind of shrugged away a little bit. You know what I mean? Again, we have they'll push like Indian remedies and stuff, which help and stuff, but at the same time, it's not the root of the problem. And so like I do think like, you know, seek help. There's a lot of outlets nowadays to reach out. You can call the suicide prevention hotline. They'll talk to you.
So I called them actually once for a friend, and I was doing the completely wrong thing. I thought I was helping a friend, but I was not. I was not.
How so?
Without getting into too much detail, right, just for their own privacy.
Yeah.
I thought just giving them whatever they wanted was going to help them, because it might be like, oh, it's like a person seeking help, or like if a baby cries, you give them a toy. No, they're an adult. They need actionable things. If they need to go to the hospital, if they need to call psych ER, you can call 911, right? And that's when it gets kind of crazy, right? I'm talking about like life and death type moment. And I was like, I didn't know. I shut down. And in that whole week, I cried in the shower, dude. Like I just yelled. I was like, I couldn't handle it. But again, they're better now. I'm happy I made the right calls. It was good. But the other thing I wanted to touch about is like, make sure you do, if anyone that has mental health issues, depression is probably, or depression mainly, and just not being out there, just reach out to your friends, check up on them. I think we have this rule: call a friend once a year just to check up. At least, just like, hey, like, how you doing? Like, look, like genuine.
Yeah, like
right?
I know I'm really aloof. And I can go in my zone, right? As an Aquarius, like I get it, and I learned that about myself. But that's why for me, as my minimum requirement is, if I haven't talked to someone, I'll do like a 1 year catch up. Yeah, I'll call them annually just to make sure they're good. I just need to hear a voice, see how they're doing, check up on them. I don't need to be like texting them every day, because I know I hate that personally. If someone does that to me, I get pushed back a little bit. But for me, I just need to at least check up messages, because that honestly that goes a long way, man. People who've checked up randomly on me, I was like, during that time especially, man, that was a nice beam of light during that time, for sure. Again, some resources, right? The suicide hotline. I think they're gonna release a new mental health. Like, I think it's like 511 or 611, 711. Yeah, we'll double check that. We'll double check that. Like that. There's gonna be betterhelp.com. And then I my therapist I found through Psychology Today or psychologyfinder.com. Mm-hmm. And you can say like mix and match like who you want, like by genders, by age, by what you're dealing with, what you think you're dealing with, and they're great resources. Drake has this rule. He's like about like keeping shit on your shoulders, right? It's a 3-day rule I think you put on his like TikTok or Instagram, or I saw that. And it's like, if you don't worry about it after the 3rd day, it was a 72-hour rule. No one's gonna worry, or no one's gonna remember it. If no one remembers the issue after 72 hours, it's not a real issue. You should just let it go, right? So Drake can let it go. I think you were saying earlier you can let it go, right? But speaking about back to music, man, any new singles coming out? Dude, that I have, can talk about. I mean, so I had my track OnlyFan come out. That's like my new pop punk track I have. It was May 2022. That song, man. Love that song. Was that derived from the rise of OnlyFans? Dude, it was. So the thing is, like, I actually wrote that song. So this is like before I moved to Miami, right? I wrote that song during quarantine and stuff. Like, it was a recap of what happened during that season, man. Yeah. Like, everyone's going to virtual outlets, TikTok, Twitch, OnlyFans, and it was so weird, man. And I was really in that pop punk phase in that element, and I still am now. And I feel like I missed that sound. And when shit's like, bro, we had so much depressing rap, hip hop music, the mumble rap, whatever that era was, it was dope, but it was really sad. Yeah. But like, I love all those artists, man. Those artists were amazing. And like, again, I think everyone brings some element for that time. Yeah. But you saw so much of the sorrow and that pain during that time and the depression. And I just didn't want to feed that, to be honest, because I know that puts me in that same element. You don't want to feed the mumble rap, or you don't want to feed the depression music? The depression music, dude. Like because it puts me in a moment. Shit. Exactly. Yeah. Juice WRLD, Triple X, like amazing artists, talented artists. But at the same time, for me, I love their music. I fall into that pitfall, dude. It's like, when you're sad and you play your sad playlist, and you start crying and shit. This guy, dude. Oh my god, playlist, dude. Sad Indian playlist, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, my go-to is that Tere Bin by A.R. Rahman. Fucking beautiful. It's so much. Oh man, all the Atif Aslam everything and shit, dude. Oh yeah, what's that other one? Tum Hi Ho, man. Yeah. From Ashiki 2. Yeah. Anything from that album. Oh my god. That translates into without you I cannot live, I think, more or less. Bruh. I'm trying to make it a point to me where I stop listening to those songs when I'm going through that vibe. Yeah. Who do you listen to? How about this? When you try to get into this creative mindset, like, hey, I'm gonna record, with my producer today. Do you have any like prep songs that you listen to? Like your influences, like Lil Wayne, Gambino. It depends on. See, this is the thing. It depends on like what mode I'm in. If I'm in a sad element, I'm listening to the sad artists and stuff, and I will create that sound. Mm. You know what I mean? Like if I'm listening to like pop punk. Like I'm going through all the oldies and shit, like The Killers, Panic at the Disco, like some MGK here and there, and like so like that brings me to the element that I'm fucking with, right? So I will create that type of track. So it really depends. That's why for me, like if I'm listening to like jazz, if I'm listening to something like that will influence my track during that era. So the OnlyFans track, I had a lot of pop punk influences during that time, but then I was also lyrically trying to encompass whatever was going on during that time as well. And that's literally how I make tracks. The IDGF track was post-depression.
Oh, it was.
That's why I love that track. That track means a lot to me in a way where like that was me just giving a middle finger to fuck no more depression, bro. We're out of this shit. Only hype music from here on out. That's it.
So my favorite song is We the Brown Boys. That's my favorite.
Oh, This Is Not India. Oh my God.
This Is Not India.
That's interesting.
We the Brown Boys.
That one was influence-wise for that, dude, that was literally like college career. Everything we did in college.
Your influence for writing music is just elements of your life, and then that's your creative outlet.
That's the only way I could do it. Like it's or like if I that's the only way I could do it. Sometimes I'll take influences from people around me or like certain vibes that I see and stuff, but like a decent amount has to come from me. Otherwise, I don't truly rock with it. I could do it, but at the same time, like I had to bridge the gap.
Right. So, Kunal or Horseplay X, can you please tell me, like, try to wrap things up a little bit. Probably one of the greatest pieces of advice you've received from any mentors or teachers that you would like to share with the audience.
I think, okay, so like from a mentor, I'd say, actually, honestly, this is probably like one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten. And this is when I was like interning at a management office, right?
Yeah.
Again, this is like low self-esteem, Kunal. Like I kind of knew I wanted to be in acting and stuff, but like I was so like low confidence at the time. So anyways, I was interning at the time. I was like 22. And so Martha Sanchez, she was like, Kunal, whatever you want, just picture yourself already on that billboard.
What?
And like, dude, at the time, again, like I'll be honest, like when you have such a low self-esteem at the time, you don't really see that. Like you think those thoughts are so like far-fetched, but like I get it now, right? Like envisioning it, manifesting it comes to fruition. And I'm like, yo, that sat with me. Yeah. Even though I didn't understand it at that time, like that sat with me. And I use that every day now. Like even like the streams thing, like picturing like, 500,000 streams, 600,000 streams, like million streams now. Again, it keeps expanding over time, right?
You're gonna make it.
Like before I was like journaling, like before I released the track, I was like, oh, yeah, before I released IDGF, like based on my other tracks I released, I used to like journal like, yo, my songs have like hundreds of thousands of streams, blah, blah. And legit, that's hit that point now. And I'm like, yo, shit, this actually works. Okay. So we can keep leveling this up. But like for me, it was just like, now it's this picture yourself as whatever you want. Right. And that will manifest itself. And you figure it out, bro. Like you got to trust yourself to the point where like, even if you haven't done it yet, it doesn't matter. You just have to like have that vision or just see yourself doing it and you will get it done.
Okay. And I'm mind blown, number one, dude. What was her name? Martha
Sanchez.
Shout out. Thank you, Martha Sanchez. That's one of the greatest pieces of advice I've ever heard. I need to write that down. I'm just envisioning going down the 405. I'm sure many people have been down the 405 and hopefully the listeners are, there right now, but off of, I think the Wilshire exit, there's that giant 100-foot banner for, brand new movies, brand new artists.
Oh, dude, I know what you're talking about. This is like getting in the Westwood area.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff,
Westwood, right above LA Fitness, right next to UCLA.
That's it.
Now I'm just envisioning, you, whomever, myself, giant billboard, Netflix documentary of Horseplay X, the beginning, the middle, the end, or whatever it is, right? That could happen, but thank you, Martha Sanchez.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. That's
just tight. Honestly,
she's tight, man.
She dropped hella gems, dude.
I know that's just the first billboard, like but any billboard, really, right?
Yeah.
Just that again, a great piece of advice. Just the affirmations still come into play, right? And wanted to touch back on your inner, back to your high school days when you had this inner, depression that you're dealing with as a child. One of my friends had a very similar, issue, and. Can we talk about psychedelics? Is that
100%,
fair game? Okay, because I'm
100%.
trying to make this shit explicit as possible.
Dude, let's go.
Psychedelics are getting like more and more common to converse about at the very least.
Yeah.
So I want to make that just apparent. But my friend, he took some psychedelics, and in front of him manifested his child self and a monster, right? Just in front of him, which is scary, right? But the monster was his like source of negativity, depression, fear, what have you, all those, relative emotions, and just his inner 6-year-old crying in front of him. But then this dude's crazy. He manifested like, mind you, this dude is like swole, buff, like he could take down, most people in a fight, or just, big, strong, brawly guy, alpha male almost. He manifested another version of him, this current day him. Dude just like wails at this. The way he was telling me the story, he just starts beating up this like monster that he, manifested as a demon, doing, like from the source of depression, all his negativity. And he took him down, and then he came to his younger self, his 6-year-old or whatever younger self. Just gave him like, and like the way he described it, just gave him a little sweet hug. And he's like, everything will be okay. Everything is okay. And then after that, he became successful. His mind was super clear. And this dude, like he works for like a top 100, a Fortune 500 company. I'm sure it's top 100, if not less. But he overcame a certain part of him. And I advocate for the mental health. Again, there's the 1-800 number. They're going to introduce, I think you might know, they might introduce a mental health hotline. I think you can just dial, we'll Google this later. I think we talked about it again, like 411-511. There's also betterhelp.com. There's Psychology Finder, finder.com, all that stuff. So, do seek out that. People do deal with a lot of shit along their life.
I want to circle back with that hugging your younger self thing, because that's actually super powerful. I actually went through like a guided meditation one time with some chick on the phone, and she did that, and I was so confused. She was like,
wait, over the phone? Like this is
over
live?
the phone. Yeah, and like she was just doing this thing again, dude. I was going through so much like during this phase of my life. I was so depressed, like, dude, I was not happy, and honestly, that whole pathway to music saved my life. But things like little moments like that, like seeing yourself, your 5-year-old self, giving yourself a hug, dude. Just like saying, yo, I got you. I got your back. I got us. We gonna get through this. Like that stuff's so powerful. And I'm so glad you touched on that. Cause like, dude, people don't move on with their lives sometimes because they haven't like, said sorry to themselves or had more empathy for themselves.
Yeah.
And like, you gotta understand, like, we're still kids in adult bodies, dude. Like, we're always trying to figure things out. Like, we're not perfect, dude. Like, and we have to keep reminding ourselves that because, we get hard headed. We're so ingrained in our vision, or like, yo, I want to get this done. I want this $1 million house. I want this. But dude, like taking a step back and saying like, yo, we got this. We're gonna ride through it. And I say we because it's me, myself, and I, like your inner self and stuff. Because it's like
we as in you, yourself, and I, but the different versions of you, the younger self, the older
and
self.
Like, bro, we put ourselves through so much garbage, dude, and like trash talked ourselves sometimes. And like, this is why I hate self-deprecating talk, dude, or things that belittle you, dude. Because it's cute and funny as a joke, but like it really wrecks with you subconsciously. So that was so powerful, man. Just saying sorry to yourself and just like giving yourself that like, high five or like that fist bump.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with affirmations you're talking about. Like, dude, in the mirror, I do my thing and I give myself a fist bump and like a little, what's up? Yo, awesome. We got this, dude. And that's changed waves for me, dude.
Dude, just self-care is important. Just sometimes it's okay to say no going out, right? And I think it's the age when I was in my younger 20s, I would go to 3 parties a night. 3 parties a night. But sometimes the self-care, that's a whole nother conversation, college days. But self-care is important. It's okay to say no. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug right now. Like if you're listening, you're doing well. You're doing well, Kunal. The listeners, you're doing great. You're doing brilliant right now. Just remember that.
We're doing amazing, baby. Yeah. We're doing amazing. Let's go.
Oh, man. But again, I think it's a perfect thing to wrap it up with. Just everyone's doing amazing. Self-care is very important, And hug your younger self.
Hug your inner self, man. I love that.
Man, and again, thanks Kunal Horseplay X for joining. You can follow him on all the socials. You got the YouTube, the Spotify's, the Apple iTunes, the TikToks. You know what I'm saying? He got off of MySpace.
And we got MySpace.
But, his music's great. I Don't Give a Fuck now is close to 500,000 views, which is a huge accomplishment. I'm excited to see your Netflix documentary episode. I'd like to see your face on the big screen. Again, bigger screens will happen soon
all
enough.
of the things, man. All of the things.
Personal favorite is Brown Boy, personally, but You know, I think it was one of your earlier tracks. But again, follow him on all the socials. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for listening to everyone
Dude,
out there.
thank you for having me, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Give me a high five. What's up?
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
It's a wrap.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.